As I just got my Raspberry Pi in, my Pi3 in, I wanted to start trying to help the community by showing a difference in performance for some of the key n64 games between, here we have an original 64, so this is, you know, the original game as it came out on an HD TV, which is a normal composite component. On this screen, we have Super Mario 64 on a Raspberry Pi 2 using Recall Box, using the Rice emulator, and then Pen. Oh, look, it just froze. Okay, and Pen over here. And on this one, we have a Raspberry Pi 3 overclocked to 1.45 megahertz with a 500. We increased the SDRAM to 500, and we increased the GPU memory to 500. On this particular Raspberry Pi 3, using the same emulator as the Raspberry Pi 2 Rice. And so we're going to go ahead and show the playing on the original and the Pi 2. Go ahead. So even from the Pi 2, we can see much better graphic performance. The only problem that we've kind of seen in the Pi 2 is that it does have some slowdown issues, whereas the original doesn't have any slowdown issues. And we'll see that once he enters the stage. Of course, go to a different stage, but that's fine.
How many stars?
So go to that one part where you saw the slowdown. Oh, was that with the other emulator before we were on Rice?
Before. This is a little bit slower. A little bit better, but
it looks better. But still entirely playable. Alright, now let's zoom in on the Pi 3.
Pi 3 coming in.
Is it close? It's right now, so
yeah, it has a wide angle.
But I mean, graphically, obviously between the three, it is the best looking. Where did I get that start?
The graphics are almost too sharp.
You can apply shaders, like if you want. But I mean, I don't really feel that you saw the scan lines on the original too much.
No.
It was just that it wasn't RGB.
I'm just saying, like, if you look at the original, the edges look real fuzzy, and as opposed to this, and even next to the Pi 2, it's real sharp. Like, it's really good. You know what I mean? It handles all the stuff.
Yeah, the vibrancy and the color.
Yeah. But look at those edges. You know what I mean? Like the aliasing is still pretty nice. You know what I mean? It doesn't look you know, super jaggedy. Like it looks sharp, but it doesn't look like, yeah, all jaggedy and nasty.
It almost feels like it plays faster than the original too. Like, I'm sure it's the same speed, but
look at those colors though; they just sit in so great.
You play. Do a little something. Tell me if you can feel any, like, you were just playing on the original.
Yeah. Feels good, looks good. Honestly, if I didn't know this was an emulator or something, if I just handed this game to somebody and said, hey, play this, they probably wouldn't even realize that it was like 10 times better than the original because it looks better. But the handling is just great. I don't really see any bad problems.
Lost sync for a second.
Lost sync, yeah.
I think that's just this TV. Like, I haven't seen it. It hasn't happened on any other TV.
Yeah.
And this is in a 4:3 ratio.
I did.
Yeah, but I really do think that's just the TV. Okay, let's set up for, yeah, let's go Racer. Okay, so we're coming back in. We switched to Star Wars Episode 1 Racer.
Let's take a look at the 64 if you notice. It's really jagged, really not clear looking at all. You don't have to go that close.
Have to.
Yeah, it's super wide. But yeah, I mean, as you can see on the top, the Raspberry Pi 2 is not keeping up at all. You can't even play. You can't even play a match on the Raspberry 2. It's just not going to work.
And on the Pi 2, it is an overclock. It's in a turbo overclock, which is 1050 megahertz, which is above the normal system. I haven't tuned it as much as the 3. Honestly, I gave it a fair shot by throwing the normal overclock, the normal system overclock on it. But I haven't tuned it as much as the settings on my 3, and I'm going to share those in the comments.
Okay, so you want to stretch up 3?
Let's go to 3.
Now, as you can see, it's got its problems. There's a lot of sound glitches, probably a little bit more than as playability. But it's not entirely unplayable. If you were a big fan of this game and you really just wanted to play it for nostalgia reasons, you should be able to get through the game no problem.
I would say that it shares something in common with Mario Kart 64 in the sense that when all of the vehicles, the first 8 vehicles, are rendered together and being rendered on the frame, that it starts up on almost anything, Xbox, PC.
Yeah, but if you're good at your games, you're always in the front.
But once you get away from the pack or the pack thins out, the game kind of returns to a normal speed. I would say it doesn't even suffer that problem as much. I would say like a 15-20% speed decrease just in those first couple of frames.
Yeah.
And after that, I mean, to me, it feels entirely playable. The sound is not perfect, and of course, I think this is
a few glitches here.
You're gonna have a few artifacts in the frames, but I mean, it visually looks better.
I mean, I've seen people play games that are way worse, and they'll just still keep playing the game, no matter the emulation.
And I think the difference between the Pi 2 and Pi 3 is really starting to show like how much more power the Pi 3 has. I mean, when you're talking about another 300 megahertz in processing power, the 64-bit core that the Pi 3s have now. There's more SDRAM dedicated to this card, and honestly, there's more GPU memory. It has 500 megabytes of GPU memory to work with, as opposed to, I think the max that people would go with on 2s was 320.
And this is an overclocked Raspberry Pi, so we are getting a little bit more juice out of just pulling it straight out of the box.
Which definitely wasn't bad, but I mean it
doesn't hurt.
I guess it would be considered under, because the default RetroPie is still at 900 megahertz because it's just 3.6 and it was optimized for the Raspberry Pi 3. Like, it works and boots, but I don't think they. I don't think that the settings, when I looked in boot config text, showed that it was still just at 900 megahertz. So I mean, technically that's an underclock for a Pi 3. And I think when
so they just kind of want to keep you on the safe side, when you're.
They've had so little time to make change. I mean, I think the RetroPie was the first emulator, like Recall Box does not have a version yet that will boot with a Pi 3. I know they're working on it, but I don't think their devs have many Pi 3s in their hands yet.
Yeah. That's something I'm waiting on, is when Recall Box gets ready for the 3.
So yeah, this is entirely playable. So we're gonna switch to the next game.
Okay, so this is gameplay, the original. Everybody knows how this goes. It looks a little dark.
Mind you, my monitor, we've seen a little bit of darkness out of that.
This display. Monitor specifically. So,
it's like
I said before, it just looks a little fuzzy, not as sharp as maybe as the others. If you look at the Raspi 2, obviously it's sharper, but the gameplay is almost not there. If you really wanted to play this game, you could casually. I probably would not try to go through this whole game on a Raspberry Pi 2. It's just, we've all played GoldenEye. There's many parts where you get cramped up with a bunch of characters, a bunch of shooting, and obviously as soon as you get into a little bit of shooting with the Raspberry Pi 2, it just can't really keep up. So yeah, I wouldn't really go for GoldenEye and Raspberry Pi 2. Here in Raspberry Pi 3, it's obviously a lot sharper. As most of them, it's the sharpest. The quality just looks so clear. It's sharp and clear. and the playability is great. There seems to be a little bit of slowdown, but I mean, we've all played the original. We know that the original has slowdown on its own. You know, all the processing. So I don't think that's anything out of the norm. This game is totally playable from start to finish. We're going to try here in a little bit and see how 4-player mode comes up, see if we can handle rendering 4 different screens at once. I hope so.
Handle 4 people in the like 4 players in the
yeah.
at the same time.
Well, because it has to render 4 different screens, you know, so it's a little more.
That's a big question.
Yeah, it's a big question, definitely. But single player mode seems to be checking out. As you can see, he's in a more complicated level. It starts to get a little congested here in a bit. But totally playable.
I definitely had to make probably some of the most fine-tuning for GoldenEye and Killer Instinct, which we'll show a little bit later. Definitely didn't want to work with anything near default settings, but there's so many different emulators, video resolution modes, changes that we can make to I'm not a. There are guys that are far smarter at the processor architecture and the micro stuff that the GPU used for the 64, which makes it so hard to emulate.
Can we go out to the next area?
And
I don't know if you want to.
Oh yeah. But when the smarter guys get this in their hands and can tune between what the right split for, I don't even know if 500 on the memory split, pushing to the GPU. I theorize that theoretically you could put more to it, but there's got to be some form of balance between how much processing power does it actually need, and then at what point does it need 800 megahertz of processing power and 700 megabytes into the GPU card? And there's just so many permutations, that it's going to take a while, and it's going to take guys who understand processor math a little bit better than I do to get it at its best playable.
There are a few videos on YouTube right now on the Raspi3, the 3, but anyway, but the GoldenEye. All the playthroughs I see of GoldenEye, they still have a lot of lag, but just so you know, like it can work. It just needs more work put into it. Default is not going to work. It does help a lot that we we overclocked the Raspberry Pi, and like he said, it didn't work on the default emulator. We had to mess with the settings a bit. So
this is one of the games that I had to turn up the GPU memory for.
Yeah, definitely. So, but I mean, look at it. I don't. This plays better than.
This has never worked on the 2.
Yeah, it's never worked on the 2.
Not right.
This to me feels better than playing on the 64. I mean, that just maybe me talking out of my ass, but
it's getting better visuals for a little bit of
little bit
of slowdown.
Yeah, you get a little bit of slowdown. It doesn't really affect the playability. I'm playing pretty smooth.
Visually,
I don't feel like, oh, if this game ran better, I can play better. I don't feel that at all. This totally works for me.
Visually, it just looks.
It looks stunning, honestly. The way
I've seen it on PC.
The Raspberry upscaled the 64. It just really did a really good job at it, and everything looks smooth.
Alright, let's put it in 4-player mode.
There's a weird funniness on top of the left brain. I definitely got some slowdown. But maybe it's 2 and 3 are okay. I wonder if my controller's got a little bit of a problem.
But we're getting lag.
Yeah, lots of lag.
Lots of lag. We're only 3 players in. We're getting lots of lag. You already started the video?
Yeah.
So here we are, 3 players in. Multiplayer on GoldenEye.
I would not call this playable yet.
I would not call this playable yet. Yeah, exactly.
I have no idea why the top left.
Yeah. Player 1 seems to be glitching out real bad. I remember this was this used to be.
Still killed somebody though, because I'm that good.
This used to be a Project 64 problem. That we're seeing here. So yeah, other than the first player lagging out really nasty, the gameplay isn't all too bad. Obviously, I probably wouldn't sit there with my friends and try to get them into a match of GoldenEye.
Visually, it's still rendering gorgeous.
Visually, yeah, it is still
I mean,
rendering. And you know, it's actually keeping up with the hardware, not too bad. You know, if I alone, I'm not too bad. Once we start to get next to in some a shootout, it's not too bad. Though, let's see if we can get 3 players into the same screen and see what we got there. I'm here in this room with this guy. I don't know if you want to come find us real quick.
I'm trying to handle that.
Stay with me if you want. The other guy.
Dang.
Dan.
Can you jump down? It's down there.
I'm above you.
We're all on the top now.
Again, I can definitely try with some different
Settings.
settings.
This is using our previous settings earlier in the video.
Yeah, we can try a couple of different emulators to see. Let me make sure that we are on 640 by 480, because that's definitely like. It's definitely. Let's see, what's the default video mode? So, ROM. So we're on the glass, and that was working. Let's go down to 640 and see how that works. This works again, it's kind of technical. Start. Back at it again with that 4-0. I still got the glitch, but we are playing better. I don't know. You guys, some of those think of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I was kind of better before.
Yeah, it seemed better before.
Really?
Definitely seemed better before.
It's crazy. Let's try maybe switching to glide. Kylo Ren.
It probably gets up to your computer. Honestly, the screen.
Oh,
I was doing GoPro shoots like Friday, as a matter of fact, and they're really wide.
It's ready, dancing.
We're even getting a start.
Oh, this is a lot better.
Nice.
This is a lot better.
And 3 now. So this is
Live.
3-player, a little bit more working on the settings, and it seems we got 4-player working.
Oh, the 3-player working.
3-player.
I wouldn't expect an extra player in the frame to
make much of a difference. We only have 3 people on us on hand, so we can only play 3-player right now.
the keyboard, Kylo.
So yeah, let's see if we get into a shootout right now.
Let's do this.
Why don't I have a gun?
You have to run over it and
Oh.
start with gun, and then you have to hit X to get like
So open it up.
to like roll. It's definitely not a 64 controller. Though I mean, if you want to be a purist, you can definitely do the GPIO hack, and then you can get the USB, the 64, you can get USB 64. Oh, get wrecked! Oh shit. What's going on here? Pursue me. Alright, well, don't blow anybody. Like, let's all meet. Just meet where I am. Come to me.
Yeah, so we can get all the kills with the rockets.
Yes, come to my father. Said the spiders to fly. I don't know, that's very smooth. And that glitch problem that we were having in the white corner stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, man, this is running smooth. It seems a little smoother than
You guys come to me
it
because
is.
I don't know maps for shit. I don't know
I
maps for shit.
never played this game.
Follow me. Daniel.
playing smooth, man.
Yeah, it's playing smooth.
I don't know, I mean, to an extent. All right, so let's like just kind of run around the screen while we're all ready, and then we'll.
So we're all here on the same screen. We're about to shoot fire and see how it handles all the rocket landing. So yeah. Cool. So it looks like I didn't see any slowdown. I'm hoping that with these settings that we're actually going to get smoother single player gameplay. A lot of the things seem to work better. I think GoldenEye is not even a match for the Raspberry Pi anymore. I just think, you know, finding the right settings, getting everything set up right, saving the settings, and I think totally playable.
Let's switch over to let's go over to Smash.
So yeah,
let's go to Smash. Well, I know my L1 and R1 aren't that right.
Yeah, I might not either, but it's cool.
Yeah,
that's not the point. Yeah. So we're getting to a 4-player smash, a 3-player smash. That's all we have right now. So we got a little bit lag here in the intro. This is kind of telling me that gameplay probably isn't going to be that great. But
no, menus are always laggy.
Menus, yeah.
Final Destination. They didn't have Final Destination on this one, right?
No. Okay, definitely if you're a Smash player, this will piss you off.
I mean, if you're casual.
For casual, yeah, I still probably wouldn't even give it that much, though we haven't messed with any settings.
Let's go for, let me check the video mode. Alright, so we're new gen, video mode for new gen, new ROM, let's get one, and then let's do, I said I was doing okay with that, but let's try live. I guess let's try live. That's been good to us so far. It really is a mashup of which emulator is going to do it the right way.
Yeah, it seems like you just gotta tinker with a few things, you know. Definitely, there is no one size fits all. Ooh, okay, this is a lot smoother than what we were seeing 2 seconds ago.
Going faster. First 3 player. Oh,
definitely more playable. We got some more play action going on in here.
I'm feeling a little freeze when I get close to something. Maybe that's just...
Yeah, we might be able to mess with the settings a little better. Get a clear...
I'm gonna die right now, because I know how to play this game. 64. You know what I played on 64 was Cruising USA and Shadows of the Empire. It was like the only 2 games I ever played.
Okay, so...
I'm not giving up on 4 playability on this stuff.
No. I mean, of course, we all have played the 64 version, and even 4-player on the 64. Why?
Oh yeah, death is gonna bring you to your knees though.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
It's too much. Respawns too.
But again, I haven't finished on the Overclocks, and I definitely haven't like tested all the video modes and emulators. We need more hands on deck and like, hey, this setting works for me. I wish I went like Pikachu, like the video music. What do you have to do? Like charge view? No, I'm bad at this game. Well, how come that death didn't freeze it down? Well, I guess it really did. The single player mode seems totally good.
I figured it out, yay.
Look at how good I am. Look at this. I get to see how bad I am in slow-mo. It's pretty nice. Pikachu! That's good. How many stocks are in this?
It's time.
Oh, it's time.
So So that's weird because Link loaded up real nicely.
That's from Mario.
Do that. See?
Pikachu died?
No.
Yes, Pikachu.
I guess is it? No, I didn't know. Is it just on like different deaths?
Well, I find out right now.
No, I'm coming back from that. Yeah. So never mind.
So now Pikachu's death seems to be working.
See, it seems like when Pikachu dies, like a frame or two later, it does definitely like slow it down. See, like that. Like
I think if we mess with the settings a little bit more, we could probably cut down on all the lag. So here's Killer Instinct Gold on the 64 on a Raspberry Pi 2. As you can see right now, it's not going to run that great, Danny.
Oh, shit.
It's not playable at all. It's super laggy. It's just not going to happen on the Raspberry Pi 2. Yeah.
we've overclocked. We've tried a couple different emulators. It's listed as unplayable on the compatibility list. I just don't think there's anything that the 2 can do to play it.
Yeah. So let's go to the Raspberry Pi 3
first.
Okay, so here we loaded up. We're on 2-player mode. We've loaded up on the Pi 3 again with a couple different frame modes. We're definitely in 640 by 480.
It could probably mess with settings. If those background issues were probably bugging you a bit. Playability, I mean, this guy's about to get wrecked, so I don't think we have any problem.
Except that I can't play the game. The 64 was on my system.
So yeah, you can see right here. I'm a Killer Instinct player personally. I main it up, so I don't really play 64 version. But from what I do know, this plays pretty nice. Definitely playable. Of course, if you're a Killer Instinct player, you're not going to play Killer Instinct on the 64. So this is more of a casual gamer thing. So for the casual gamer trying out Killer Instinct for the first time, this shouldn't change their judgment on is Killer Instinct a good game or not.
And Gold really wasn't ported to anything else. I mean, like there was KI and KI2, and then KI
Gold.
on the
Yeah,
thing.
Gold.
But Gold was different than even 1 and 2. Right? It wasn't re-released on the Xbox One. It wasn't. It was pretty much just.
As you can see, we have a little bit of menu problem. Not a big deal. We're just getting some characters. Gameplay. Okay, here we're getting into a little bit of.
Memory leak or something?
Yeah, we're getting something funky going on right here. So let's see if we can mess it up a bit.
that was historical for the Pi 2 in the sense that after an extended time of emulating the 64, there was some sort of memory leak, and they would just restart the Pi. Let's see if restarting the game gets us back up and running. It could have been. It could be something as simple as like the characters we selected for some reason could have bugged it out. I'm gonna select.
I'm a what's his name? Combo player. So
yeah. So it didn't require a restart, but
there's probably some settings we can look at. Probably fix that up a little bit.
Yeah, I like this guy. Did he do that in the Super Nintendo?
No, he didn't do that in Super Nintendo. That's weird.
That's not awesome.
He still has his reflective shield.
Fun story, one of our arcades, we got a big buck hunter, and then we pulled the artwork off, we pulled the control panel off of it, and there was a Killer Instinct underneath. They painted over, and so if you look at my YouTube channel, you'll see another video. We have a Killer Instinct arcade cabinet we restored.
It's a Killer Instinct cabinet, but we threw in an Xbox One with some pad-hacked Xbox One controllers. And we throw in the latest Killer Instinct with the arcade feel, and of course, the first 2 are ported.
No, this is the first one. This is just KI1. KI2 they didn't port KI2 to the Xbox One.
Yeah, they did.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I only have an Xbox One. Yeah,
it's ported. I'm pretty sure it came out like season 2 or something like that.
I never saw season 2.
I don't think we haven't purchased this yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Pay attention to it.
it does.
Man, I like Slime in this edition. That's pretty good. Except for that, I'm not playing. I just like that dude. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Run it out.
totally playable. Plays good.
Pause break. What's the next? So I just wanted to do a short set. I mean, this isn't a super crazy important game, but I know that this is an example of something that did not play well even on the 2. And just messing with a couple of settings on this side. I find Yoshi Story 2, Yoshi Story, very playable on the 3. And of course, if there's like, if you guys have a favorite game or something like, you're super like anxious to see if it works correctly, you know, just comment on the thread on Reddit or on YouTube, and if I can get the time, I'll check it for you. I'm ecstatically excited about the performance of the 3 because it's handling almost. There's several arcade games, and I'll give you one quick small example of something that it can do, or games that at least I've been checking that are on older compatibility lists is not working. So here's an example for a pretty cool game that I wanted that didn't work on the 2. Was Moonwalker, the bootleg edition. Absolutely does boot up and play well. So, I mean, from all the compatibility lists that I checked, I hadn't tried playing it on the 2, but it definitely does work on the 3 and work well. Killer Instinct and Killer Instinct 2 still not working, but I don't think that has to do with the power on the 3. I think that's just the main versions of KI1 and KI2.